All right, all right. Let us check and see how we're doing when it comes to the streaming thing. Sorry, it's been a minute. Sorry, I have not streamed as much as I've wanted to. Apologies for that. Sorry, it's also pretty late. I mean, I've streamed later than this, but still. So we're good with one. We're good with two. Let's see if we're good on the YouTube, which is we usually are, right? That's the one we have the least trouble with. But still, good check. Never hurt anybody. Let's see. Look, yep, we're good for all three. So I'm asked a question I already know the answer to. Are we live? I said, are we live? And howdy time, Jensen. Shout out to Utah. Looks like we're live and live. You're in Utah. What do you know about that? Didn't they have a NIL guy for BYU get like a ton of money? I know there's a lot of controversy for a quarterback in Tennessee who wanted a ton of money. But I feel like there's a basketball player, I think it was with BYU, that has they got like a massive NIL deal. Pelicans hire Joe Dumars. Man, I don't know. That is kind of a head scratcher. You really can't blame their GM. And I appreciate you being here, Small Time Republic. I guess we're starting with sports talk, which is shit I could convert to maybe as a channel. Maybe I should. I don't know. But I liked Joe Dumars as a GM when he helped build, that 03 Pistons team. He also traded for Chauncey Billups for Iverson and helped destroy that era of Pistons. And he's been, I think, pretty much in the league's office ever since. I also don't think that their previous GM did a terrible job. I mean, if Zion cared more about basketball than OnlyFans thoughts, if Brandon Ingram and CJ McCullough stay healthy, that is a great core to have. In the one half a season when they did all play together, they were amongst the top of the league. It was only like 20, 30 games. I don't think it was a full half of the season. But they had a stretch where they had everybody together, and it looked like, oh man, the Pelicans are going to be that nice young team. And it never happened. I think they had one play-in run without Zion because he's never healthy, and that's it. So I can't really fault that GM. I mean, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't fire him. You got to rebuild. You got to destroy everything, rebuild. But he didn't do the worst job. Yeah, Zion ain't it. Team down south got them a ringer. Okay, so I did hear that right. Hey, listeners, appreciate you being here. Zion's never played a full season. He never will. He never will. Listen, I get it. I just, I call myself trying to lose weight. I made juice and everything today, and then I went to get groceries and get produce and stuff. And I also got some hot chicken on the way back. So I get it's not the easiest thing on earth to eat healthy. I get it. But you're a fucking pro athlete, my guy. You're a pro athlete. And if you weren't nearly 300 pounds, I don't know if you would have these injuries. He made the jerkbait finals. Yeah. He keeps fucking and getting porn stars pregnant. I have not looked at eggs. I'm scared to. Last time I checked, they were like 4 something. So I don't know what's going on in Canada, but last time I checked, they were 4 something. Which would probably be, that's a lot of good protein. But it's expensive. I know they're cheap. Richard is, yeah. 88 for like $5. I haven't checked though. I just got a Costco. I need to check Costco. It's getting better. Have to admit it's getting better. Hey, LDG. I've been meaning to link up with you. I've been busy. Work's been kicking my butt, so sorry about that. But I appreciate that you're here, man, because you had said something in one of these streams, and I didn't see it until I started streaming. Like, hey, link up with you. So I got to just randomly, I'm going to try to pop in at some point in time over the next few days, if I can. So thank you for being here, man. Dozens, threesome. Okay, so y'all doing better than Texas. I know a lot of people thought bird flu. I saw a video that said the bird flu was being used as an excuse. I don't know. It's Canada's fault. It's Greenland's fault. It's Elon's fault. It's the radical left's fault. Everyone loves eggs. Now the price goes up. Yeah, you used to hear all sorts of shit about eggs, whether or not eggs are good. But I mean, you hear so much shit about food. The one I think I sent you the video where it said you're not supposed to drink water. It's like, okay, man, there's just too much shit. It's all China's fault. It's China's fault. Jazz has the worst record. That means the most ping pong balls. Maybe you're in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Unless they trade their pick, which I don't think they would have. So you guys might get Cooper Flag. So there's that. There's that. Blame Bill Goldberg. Well, he is a part of the coincidence crew, so he deserves the blame, apparently. Nah. What's one thing I did see? Oh, actually, I think it was Matt. And I love Matt. I love him like he's the number one pick going to the Wizards. Oh, they'll waste it. Even though I know I was arguing for it earlier, but I mean, come on, they are still the Wizards. I was just arguing for him optimistically, and I like Chris Middleton. Is he from Michigan? I know he went. Obviously, we drafted him, I believe, the Pistons. I think he went to a school in Michigan. And I like Chris Middleton, and so I like the fact that he's trying to be optimistic about the shitty ass Wizards. What did YouTube delete? They deleted a lot of stuff. Oh, but I saw something, and I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I saw my man Matt from Fireball Productions. Matt Thalamu. I love him like a distant white cousin. And I was on Instascam, and he does the smart thing where you clip yourself out so more people can watch your content. Something I've been trying to do and haven't done because I haven't really felt that strongly about my content recently. I've been kind of slacking off. In any event, called him a good bunch of Cooper Flag uts. Okay, well, I don't think you can say that. But no, speaking of homosexuality, I was watching something, and he said something. I guess they're race swapping. Is it Harry Potter? Yeah, Harry Potter. And I'm thinking, okay, politically minded folk, y'all are gonna have to come up with what y'all think about J.K. Rowling, right? And just live with it, because a few years ago they had that Harry Potter game, and it was like a right wing thing to play it. And all the left hated it. Now she's doing race swaps, which if I remember correctly, she was the first one to do race swaps of her characters. And now I guess it's the right way thing to hate it, the left way thing to love it. She's center left. She's going to do what she wants to do. She's made billions of dollars. You either like her or you don't, man. Does it fit? You used to have this shit, speaking of diet, if it fits your macros. Now it's if it fits your political worldview. And listen, I never liked Harry Potter. It's just a ripoff of Star Wars and other things that Star Wars ripped off. And I'm not with wizards. I always thought that Slytherin and all that shit, I always thought that shit was gay. Speaking of homosexuality. No disrespect. Nothing's anything wrong with that. I never got into Harry Potter. And if you guys are Potterheads, I'm a pothead, you're about to find out. If you're Potterheads, y'all love them, that's y'all business, cool. But stop politicizing this shit. Who cares? Who cares? I made a clip. Shout out to Brandon Howell talking about Bears manager. Oh, Caleb, we got your weapons, new O-line, and Ben Johnson for a coach. Sometimes I go cry off football. Oh, God damn it. I made a video of, do I still have it on my Instagram? I posted on Instagram in a few places when Ben Johnson went over there, showing Caleb crying to the famous song from the 70s from the Jackson 5, Ben, where he was talking about the rat. Ben, the two of us need look no more. We both found what we are looking for. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Ben Johnson. Good luck. I think the Bears, I am obviously biased. I am a Lions fan. I don't want the Bears to win. I think they'll be better than they were last year, but they're not going to make the playoffs. And I honestly think Caleb had a pretty good rookie season. But rest in peace. Val Kilmer did die since last time we streamed. Rest in peace. Val Kilmer. Shout out to Heat. Shout out to Tombstone. Of course, he was one of the. Compared to all the other Batman, I would put him in the middle of the pack. There's definitely been worse Batman. I think the one we got now is worse than he is. So rest in peace, Val Kilmer. But as much as I thought Caleb was overrated in the draft last year, I thought his season was underrated. He didn't throw that many picks yet. They didn't win as many games as they would have liked. He started off pretty good, and then they kind of faltered. But that offensive line is still, no matter who the quarterback is, they give up the most sacks each year. Ben Johnson, I wish him the best, but he's been kind of overrated by ESPN. As somebody who's watched him call games week to week, especially the past 2 years, and really watched pretty much every snap he's called, he is a good offensive coordinator, I'm not going to lie, but he gets too fancy, and he gets too fancy often, and I don't think the world realizes how fancy or over fancy he gets and how often, because a lot of times it gets killed at the line. And we'll see how that works. It could be a disaster. Or it could be mid. Like I said, I'm expecting a mid-season from the Bears. But that could be an unmitigated disaster. And I don't think, I hate sports media so bad. And I hate that sports media like ESPN and FS1, they have these clueless takes. They barely watch the game no matter what game they cover. And then when they have a take, it dominates the perception of something. Just like this draft coming up next week, where people think it's kind of a down year, which I don't. I do not think it's that down of a year. I'm not as down the quarterbacks as they are. They say, they would have been middle of the pack last year. I don't think so. I think Cam Ward would have still won the top 10 last year. I actually think Cam Ward and Shador, I actually kind of like Cam better than I like Caleb, but I didn't like Caleb like that. I was higher on Jaden, and that point turned out to be correct. But I didn't think Jaden was going to do what he did, though. I'm not going to act that crazy. I didn't think he was going to lead him to the damn conference championship. I just thought he was a little bit better because I thought he was a little faster. Caleb cried. He did cry after Utah beat him. Shout out to Matt Mardigan. What happened to Matt Mardigan? Why could Batman 22 die? Oof, goodness gracious. Shout out to Robert Patterson. Kenneth Grant and Donovan Jackson visited Texas. I've heard Donovan Jackson's name. YouTube won't let you say his actual name. That's crazy. That many people love him. I hope Matt Mardigan's okay. I don't know what happened with him. But yeah, I thought Caleb was wildly overrated coming out of college. Certain quarterbacks are just like, why do y'all like them that much? So I thought they did a bad job. They do a bad job pre-draft of rating these guys. That was weak. That was weak sauce. I can't lie. And he opted out of the halftime, small time. He opted out of the halftime with his bowl game after he set the TD career record. That was weak. That was definitely weak. That's definitely something to worry about. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm thinking of the YouTuber. So never mind. Shout out Travis Hunter. We'll see how he goes. At first I thought he was going to New York. Now I'm not sure where he's going. Cause I'm not sure what they're doing with Shador. I always thought about making a video on Shador. I'm thinking he's getting jobbed out by the draft media. We'll see what happens. And you know what? Another thing, quarterbacks tend to go, like they only have 2 quarterbacks in the first round. Most mock drafts, maybe a third, maybe Jackson. I think 4 quarterbacks can get drafted in the first round. Why? Because teams always reach. There's a bunch of needy teams. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they get drafted second, third. But I think more quarterbacks, I think more than 2 for sure will get drafted in the first round. New York wants him from non-football reasons. Oh, for the girl. He don't want his girl around anybody. His girl's going to get fucked by a teammate. That's going to happen. It doesn't matter what team he goes to. His girl is plotting to fuck his teammates. And yeah, I don't think he can play both ways. And part of me wonders, is Travis Hunter a hyped up role player, man? As if at the end of the day, he's just going to be a solid role player, a starter for 10, 12 years, but not the starter they make him out to be. He just, because I look and I'm like, well, he won a Heisman because he played two positions well. I don't know if he's actually elite at both of those positions at an NFL level. I don't know that he is or isn't. I thought he might be a decent corner if he just played corner. Some people think he's going to be a great wide receiver. They're going to definitely give him – he will definitely get snaps on both sides of the ball this year. How effective at either side, I don't know. And how much does he does play both ways. What would it be like if everyone stayed on the same team? Well, they used to not have free agency and not have so that was the way it was a while, way back in the day. Yeah, that was also weird. Jinty didn't play against nobody, but Hunter didn't play against anybody either. Giants want Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter for their defensive line. Yeah, they might go with Carter. I also think there's a push to maybe go with Shador. I don't know. We'll see where Shador ends up. He could be. And that's another thing. I don't understand why the Browns are so out on drafting him. They just all of a sudden the Browns don't want him. It's like maybe they don't. We'll see. Be a Travis Hunter girl's gonna get tossed around. Somebody's taking a pay cut. Yeah, that's another thing because the NIL guys in both NBA and NFL, they make more than the rookies do. If you're a high priority NIL talent, and NIL is, what does it stand for? I don't know. It's just the NCAA paying kids, these school paying kids, and they're paying them more than the rookies get. So yeah, you got to take a pay cut to go to the league now. That's crazy. Crazy. Wilt Chamberlain did ask for a trade back in the day. Well, I mean, free agency started even, what was it, Kurt Flood in baseball? I think 60s, 70s, maybe 50s. I don't know when he did it. So player movement, player switching teams, that's been I mean, they always had the right to trade you if they wanted to. But as far as you having the right to leave, I would say I think all leagues had it by the 80s. I'm not sure though. I'm not a historian. Do not quote me. Do not quote me. Or maybe NFL was the last one in the 90s. I don't know. But it's been 20, 30 years since the multiple player movement and pretty much all these sports. Players move all the time. And then you got, like I said, this draft where players come out of college. But college is no longer amateur. College is now a new pro level. You think you would be a better player with the same people. And that's honestly true. If you have a team and you can keep the team together, you usually do better. That's a very logical point. And it is the point. But money. So, and this is why it's hard to keep check. This is the idea. The idea of sports, at least American pro sports, is to constantly have new champions. And there's multiple ways they do that. And then teams are fighting against it to keep teams together. One of it is free agency and the salary cap. So you can only you have to spend in between a certain amount of money. I forgot what the floor. There's a floor as well. Like you can't just, hire an NFL team for $50. You know what I'm saying? So there's a floor. I forgot what it was. So I forgot where it is at the cap at the top. So let's say $200 million, between $100 and $200 million you got to spend. And what happens is once a player gets a certain amount of status, especially quarterback, now they can get a huge contract. But a lot of these contracts mean, these quarterbacks, of that $200 million, there's quarterbacks making $60 million a year. So that really hurts how good your team is going to be. So then other players have to leave or get cut or get traded because you took a big contract. And sometimes those players not being there make you worse. So, okay, you got $60 million, but now you don't have an offensive line or you don't have a wide receiver or your defense is worse. That's what's going on in Cincinnati right now. They pay their quarterback and their two receivers, and now they can't really afford a defense. So they're going to try to win 105 to 100 in football some way, somehow, and it's not going to work out. So instead of that's the thing I don't understand. Like, couldn't you say, hey, you know what? there's a number that's still high as fuck, but we still have enough to feed the team and keep the team together. Why don't I get signed for that instead of taking the most amount of money possible no matter what? But players don't do that, so that keeps the game flowing. That keeps people who talk about it, it gives them something to talk about. But you're right. Logically, it would make more sense as far as winning. And this is another facet. You can make money off the field. You get endorsements. So if you win more, you get shit. Travis Kelce has had some of his worst years recently, but he's done the most endorsements he's ever done the past few years. So it doesn't really matter that he's not putting up numbers. Everyone knows him because he's fucking Taylor Swift, and now they put him in fucking any commercial they can throw him in. So you don't necessarily need to even make all your money in the NFL. You can do commercials, you can do all this other shit, but that's just the way it is. Motherfuckers are greedy, so that's why you can't afford to keep the team together. It hits team movement, hits the parity of the league. So that's how it works. A lot of money getting thrown around. I just think there's an argument for staying put, refine the craft. Yeah, that is an argument. Every now and again, you can get players who will take a quote-unquote home team discount. And again, these discounts like, oh, instead of $8 million a year, I'll make $6 million. It's like, homie, $6 million a year is a lot. And then some of these other players, $15 million, $20 million, $30 million, $50 million. It's unreal numbers. 105 to 100 is exciting, yeah. Cowboys are trying for the same. Yeah, they're the same thing. They just gave Dak all that money, CeeDee Lamb all that money. And I was like, well, how are you going to stop anybody? $70 million. We're going to have to pay for what you call $70 million. And here's another thing they're doing now, too, in both the NFL and baseball. They're ordering motherfuckers on credit. So they're saying, okay, I signed a contract. I'm supposed to pay you $70 million this year, right? How about this? How about I give you $40 million right now, and then that extra 30, we'll spread that shit out and give you the interest on it. And so now, not only can you get a Crunchwrap Supreme delivered to you on credit, you can get a quarterback on credit. Or if you're the LA Dodgers, you can get a whole team on credit. Where they got these guys, $100 million contract, Shohei Ohtani, but he's not going to get it for like 10 years. They're going to be paying him the rest of his life, hundreds of millions of dollars. I forgot how that contract structure. It's something crazy. So that's another thing teams doing. Let's put it on credit. We ain't got to pay you all now. Let's spread it out. Or if we did, we either going to set up the contract in a certain way like that, or after the fact, come back to you like, hey, we'll give you this over this many years plus the interest plus this, and restructure it. They're literally building teams on credit in the NFL and in Major League Baseball. I'm not joking. Danielle Hunter gave Houston a hometown discount. Sometimes it happens. Yep, in baseball, they start cracking home runs and they leave. Because it's a business. We're the only idiots who think it's about winning. Only people who think it's about winning is the fans. Everybody else is playing the game, literally. It's a business for the, as Mavericks fans are finding out, soon to be Vegas fans. It's a business. They'll trade the best player for the heartbeat to move into a casino stadium in Vegas. They'll do it on a heartbeat. They'll buy a player on credit. They'll do all sorts of crazy shit because it's a business. And the players, they don't got loyalty to that logo or that team or that city. And sometimes they do cool shit. They'll do like a little food drive, hand out book bags, cool shit like that. You're like, oh, man, he's a good dude. He might be a good dude, but he wants the fucking money. The team moved to Vegas, it will fly. I agree. I think they should do an expansion team in Vegas. I think taking away, it makes no sense to potentially bring back the Sonics and then take away the fucking Mavericks. It's like now we're in the same boat. You got a city that need a team, and you know you're going to want a team. Like, don't do that. The fans go to watch. They don't know who's on the team, game to game. Yes, that is a thing. They it's just funny to explain the logic of sports, especially American sports. It doesn't logic. That definitely is a thing. What you call it? Who he played for at the beginning of the year? Charles Barkley, where he guessed where all these players are. Vlad Jr., 14-year, $500 million extension. Sheesh, like half Canada's GDP for one guy. That's nuts. Yeah, Dallas is a huge market. There's no way it's going to be a thing. Rep used to be a thing. Like Michael Jordan. Yeah. People did used to care about being which team moves to Dallas. Maybe New Orleans. Which would make that history even more complicated. Because the New Orleans Hornets belong to them. The Charlotte Hornets do not. They belong to the Bobcats, or the formerly Bobcats, now Hornets, as far as their history. Which that's a whole, geez, we talked about that. These teams moving, which it looks like it may happen next year. The new team is the 4-4 flag. Oh no, I can't say. MJ on the Wizards. Shout out to MJ on the Wizards. Yelling at Rip Hamilton, and then after we traded him, Jerry Stackhouse. I know it's not wild thinking switching over. It is hard to keep track. That's why it's like you. In order to be a sports fan, you almost have to be a hardcore fan to keep up with everything. And that's also become kind of a draw of watching ESPN all day, FS1. I mean, ask most males my age to, I would say, no, I'll go older than me. If you ask most men between 50 and 25, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, have they ever gone through a period of basically just turning on a sports channel or two and just leaving it there for days, weeks, months on end? Pretty much all of them have had some similar version of that. I'll say until I want to say 25, because at a certain point people got to the, the internet. But between the years of 2000 2015, most men would just turn on ESPN or ESPN2 and just leave it on all day and just leave it on all night. Pretty much, they'll turn it back on when they woke up, and that was it. Maybe turn it off to play the game. They just had ESPN as their background noise for life in their homes. And part of it was to keep up with everything. Usually the favorite team, my favorite teams are about, I'm from Detroit, so I usually root for the Detroit team. And I lived in Charlotte, so I kind of root for those teams, and I kind of root for the Houston teams. So I keep up with them. So it's a little easier, but I can't keep up with every player in the league all the time. I can keep up with one team and the players that come and go on that one team, but I can't do it. I used to be able to. I don't have the mind capacity to do that no more. You know what I mean? I used to be able to keep, he's going here, he went there. You can keep up with some of it, like some of the big names, and then sometimes you forget. You're like, oh, yeah, he is here. He don't play there no more. Mavs assistant Alex Jensen, no relation, I'm sure, is going to be the head coach of Utah. I see. Expansion team in Serbia. They might expand. I don't know if you're talking about NFL, NBA. Both. I think both are going to expand. Shams, yeah, he helps. Well, that's if you follow basketball. You follow football, I don't know what you do. But Shams does help. But does everybody want to follow motherfuckers on Instagram? And before Shams, you have Woj, who you basically follow him. He gives you all the news and all the updates as soon as everybody else knows. But again, that's. If you're talking about the casualness of it, it was a lot easier before there was so much player movement. And now player movement, I mean, it's less a team like a Detroit conveyor, more like a Detroit conveyor belt or New York hotel lobby. Yeah, a little bit. We started calling him Cousin Alex during the Utes run the Final Four in '98. Oh shit! So he actually made got the Utah into the Final Four back in the day. I didn't know that. Shout out to Cousin Alex then. But yeah, it is a conveyor belt. It is. That's why regions get. It's more of the region. That's why they end up. That's why they have divisions to emphasize regional rivalry. So Detroit and Chicago, it's separated by a freeway. So you got a Detroit team, Chicago, they're in the same division. And multiple sports, by the way. And then Wisconsin, Chicago, because they close. So either Milwaukee or Green Bay, and Chicago's a rivalry. You know what I mean? New York usually have rivalry. And then Philly. Philly, New York usually is a rivalry in multiple sports. And obviously you got specific ones like Philly and Dallas with football. So the rivalry becomes between the cities, not even the teams. Shout out to Keith Van Horn. Yeah, he was cold. He was one of the first bigs that was shooting. Hey, Scrambles, appreciate you being here. Keith Van Horn was cold. I used to play with him with the Nets or the 2K back in the day. He was cold. One of the first, stretch forwards. I'm sure he only took like 2 threes a game, but that was a lot back in the day. But yeah, this is the pain of being a fan, trying to keep up with it. And it's interesting talking to somebody who, not really a big sports fan, and then you're asking very basic, simple questions, but the answer, they're really not complicated. That's why, if you understand this old thing is about money and your entertainment is second, them winning is second, it makes more sense. If you're thinking about, even though some players try to, hey, if I win a lot of games, I'll make money off the field. But the people got to get every dollar. Keith Van Horn, he was on that Utah team. He's probably the best. I would imagine he was the best player on that team. Don't follow sports that have basic observation. Yeah, that's the thing. When you as a non-sports fan, you have some basic observation. Like, this doesn't really this don't make sense because it's kind of a scam. And then we didn't even talk about gambling. Now we in the gambling age, which I gotta stay. Apparently, that's getting rough. I heard something like 10% of people. What was some number about men spending up to 10% of their income? Like the average man spending 10% of his income on gambling. Like, golly, that's crazy when you think about that. Like, I can see it. It's probably at an all-time high because you do have sports is such a universal thing to follow, right? Until you follow a little, even baseball, right? Which I'm trying to get back into baseball. That's become a nightmare. You're talking about trying to get it back into something because baseball, when I last left it, starting pitching mattered. There were variants in hitting, and everything was different. Now you have an opener. There was no opener last time I checked. You had a closer, you had a starter, middle relief, closer. Now you have an opener, and you have somebody eat up some of the innings. Then you get into your middle relief and closer. It's like, what? So you need all these pitchers, but every pitcher can throw 100 miles per hour plus. So every pitcher has heat, and the way the defense is played, you can't even hardly hit. So nobody can really hit. So everybody just try to crank home runs. And that's pretty much it. It's either home run or strikeout. Though it was kind of fun live, right? Cause I did see a game live last year. Gambling's whole signs, you have to educate yourself. Gamble safely, don't be retarded. Yeah. If you're not kidding, right? You're spending 10% of your income on gambling. Listen, I'm not a big fan. Well, I'm mixed on the tariffs thing. We talked a little bit about that, right? But 10% of your income on gambling, bro. And I just saw it online. It could be bullshit, but I mean, you see gambling shit on gambling. You just saw Taco Bell. That's a huge gamble. Only play slots certain ones. I haven't gone to a casino. No, I was on a cruise that had a casino. That was kind of fun, but I didn't gamble that much. You know what I mean? I'm scared of getting addicted. I don't like policing morally at a principal level. But I am very glad that the state of Texas doesn't allow gambling. Yes, I could do a VPN and do a workaround. Allegedly, I don't know. So don't get me in trouble, YouTube. But I'm glad it's harder. I'm glad, like, you feel like doing all that just to lose money, and then you don't do that. Having that second thought does mean I don't do it. Even with the drinking thing, which I'm having drunk. I drank New Year's Eve. I got drunk New Year's Eve. That was the last time, though. Shit, New Year's Eve is about to be 5 months. You know what I mean? And then before that, I couldn't tell you. But they don't have, you can't buy out. Like in Michigan, you can go to a liquor store at 1 a.m. So, you can't do that in the South. But I'm glad. So that means if it's after a certain time, I'm not getting drunk. You can always get beer and wine. But I don't like beer or wine. I like whiskey. I like Jack Daniels. I like other different whiskeys. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that's the same thing. If I get caught up gambling small time, I'm gonna be gambling all the time. Cause I'm gonna hit some, and that's all you need to do is hit some and think you can hit more than you can. And all of a sudden, you losing money. That's the worst thing. Oh, you hit. Oh man, you made $1,000. Damn, you hit this 1,000. Meanwhile, you didn't pay back 5,000 over the past 6-7 months. Not even thinking about it. One time you had to go check the county for warrants. I blacked out, couldn't tell if you gambling or stole it. Golly, I didn't see anything about paranoid to go back to that country. Yeah, I would be too. You don't know what you did, bro. That's crazy work. Yeah, if you win, you got to get up and leave and enjoy it. Otherwise, you fuck. If you don't have an addictive personality, you fine. Well, I do. I know I do. So I remember I had a friend tell me that shit. I was like, what the fuck? But they was right, bro. They just do it for the first time. They like, you got to addictive person. I'm like, what the fuck? You don't know me like that. But they was fucking right. Later said, man, it was right. I don't know how you knew that shit. Coach still there? Oh, shit. Hopefully no kids are still there. What else you do? But yeah, that's the thing. If you can, hey, Feds Winter and Splash Plays for your 3D comic. Still don't have a graphics card, I see. Shit, I need to do a website. I've been bullshitting on that. I was bullshitting on my taxes. I finally did those. Hopefully you did your taxes here if you're an American. But good luck with rendering that splash page. Is there a way to do it like cloud rendering? Where that rendering is not done off a different set, like cloud. Yeah, cloud rendering. Fucking government. Fucking government. Fuck the government. Fuck the government. Cost money for cloud rendering. Damn. I was hoping there was a free platform that could do it. Well, good luck, brother. Good luck, man. But yeah, I'm with you. If you, especially those. Well, apparently parlays is the worst thing. But I would be just gambling shit that I know. Lions getting one more week. I thought maybe James Pierce. Somebody said James Pierce. But then I heard mocks for him going higher. But I'm going to still say best available edge rusher. Let's make it law that only Congress must pay taxes. Bro, taxation is theft. I actually did get a return, which I was shocked. But I'm just sick of it. I'd rather just have the money straight up than a return. Plus, you don't return all the taxes y'all kept. The Lions are going to pick the best available edge rusher. Who are the Texans going to pick? I be seeing you on Stoots and them podcasts. I think they got to go. The Texans might trade back. They may trade back because they really got to get the best offensive lineman. But they got to. To me, they either got to trade back or trade up. They either got to trade up and go grab one of the best offensive linemen while they're available. And they do got a second-round pick next year, talking about the Texans again. That's what I think they should do, or trade back. Because while there are a lot of good players that could fall to 25, they need an offensive line so badly. I think they need to spend at least 3 picks on the offensive line. And so getting extra picks optimizes the chance. And I don't understand this thing where we're constantly watching defensive lines smack around these shitty O-lines. But we still act like, oh, well, guard doesn't really matter like that. You can get a guard in the 4th round. No. We're seeing the interior offensive linemen get tossed around by these monsters every fucking Sunday, except for a few good teams. So, I mean, that's actually, more thing to say. But they got to get it right. They got to get this offensive line shit right. No matter if they get, I say that, it could be 25. Marion Hampton could be there. Matthew Golden could be there. And they just say, fuck it, I'm going to draft him instead. I can see that too. But yeah, most good lines are 80% first and second rounders. I agree. You say this ain't the year to trade up? When they trade back, grab a few guards, and then try next year. And then, but that's I would say this: if there's a skill position player like a Golden or a Marion Hampton, which I do think running back should be on the list, and they're there, take that. Otherwise, I like Will Campbell, but he might be the only like real elite offensive lineman. Everybody else has a story. There's the one guy out of Ohio State that played tackle and guard because one guy got injured. Plus that guy himself, I'm forgetting names, but I remember stories. It's a lot of if and maybes at offensive line. You kind of want surefire things. Mimbu is the elite one. I don't think he's gonna be there though. Caden Proctor a tackle next year, but they're gonna have to. That almost goes with maybe trading back still, getting some picks, maybe some future picks. And then that way you got some capital next year to say, you know what, we can just trade up and go get the lineman we want instead of bullshitting around. Because I don't think there's enough people to play offensive line in the NFL right now. Like as good as rushing the passer has become, as good as these edge rushers have become, as good as these D linemen and defenses have become, there's just not enough people that can actually play offensive line. There's not enough. You got to be 6'4" to 6'7", maybe as low short 6'3", 300 plus pounds, 400 pounds. Sometimes, usually 380 is big as you get. But still, you 6'4" to 6'8", 300 plus pounds, and be able to move and be able to read defenses. That's a lot to ask. And without getting hurt because you got all this fucking body weight on you. That's a lot to ask. And that's why it's only so many humans can do it for so long. And so that's why these offensive linemen and so many teams are, oh man, we need to upgrade our offensive line. Every team got to upgrade their offensive line because there ain't enough motherfuckers that can do it. Have 3 picks the first 2 rounds next year. Yeah. I do know that. Like I said, you got that extra second rounder. So maybe just wait. If Marion Hampton's there, take him. Take a few guards, hope everything work out, and then hopefully get your offensive lineman next year, your tackles next year. The NFL tries to help them. The refs let them start stepping back a half second. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they do, depending on whose jersey they are. But, I mean, a lot, obviously, that's supposed to be false start. But depending on whose jersey you got on, sometimes you can get away with an early thing. Wide receiver, D tackle. You think D tackle? All tackle. I don't think that any of the tackles that y'all want are going to be there by 25. I could be wrong. Somebody's going to be there, though. That's the one interesting thing. Everybody can't go. I've seen enough mock drafts where either an elite offensive lineman or an elite receiver or an elite running back is there. And so I would go the best amongst them. You might want to go Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon. I mean. You might do that. I guess get a tackle. Do you need that, though? But then again, I guess the argument is let's make the defense a strength. If you think they'll start, then do it. And then let the next 3 picks be offense. You could do that. And get a receiver and 2 guards. That's probably a vanilla draft. The best available, and then the second round best available receiver, the next best available, or the best available guard the second round, and then the 3rd round receiver. Maybe. We'll see. I think it just depends on how it falls out, how everything falls at 25. And then you never know. Need a big nose tackle. Someone dominates, draws a double team. Yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt. Another thing about trading back, like I said, teams always reach a quarterback. They always do, no matter what they tell themselves, because there's not enough people that can really play NFL quarterback. Speaking of that, teams tell themselves, this guy, well, maybe. I feel like somebody's going to look at Jalen's 40 time, look at a lot of his highlights and convince themselves. Same with Jackson Dart. I have a sneaking suspicion both can end up drafted in the first round, and as a result, somebody might want to trade to move up to 25 out of the second round to draft one of those guys. If D'Amico starts feeling the heat in Houston and the Alabama coach gets fired, I mean, that wouldn't be a good thing for D'Amico, which, I mean, D'Amico's done a really good job. Trade back, get an extra fourth and a few fifths. Just gives you some chances. You could, but, I mean, who would... I almost feel like whoever the Eagles getting, you should draft. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to, like, whoever it is that the Eagles go draft, you should probably draft instead. That's why I was thinking that he's more on the offense. But the Heat starts to get, hey, man, especially, that's why I said D-tackle, you sure? Because then the Heat is like, hey, man, you know your offense is struggling. You got this blue-chip quarterback. You're not really putting much around him, and you're focusing on the defense, which is already good. Maybe, you know, move the slider on the offense a little bit. Kick the Eagles out of the league. Well, we tried, and it didn't work. The Packers tried, of all people, to get rid of that tush push, which, you know, effectively will hurt them. Couple years. You're right, the league's not patient. Shit, we just saw in the NBA, they firing playoff coaches and championship coaches. CFL needs a new team. You mean the 51st state? I know that's not going to happen. But if Canada did become part of America, what would happen to, like, Canadian exclusive things? Like, would the CBC be normal? Like, for everybody? Like, with the CFL and all the other Canadian stuff that's Canadian only. Titans collude with the Chiefs and Texans. Collude with the Eagles to spite them. If something happens for real. It might. I know. Was it you want? Somebody borrowed some of the weird Titan biases. Which is like, why are the Titans mad at Houston? Y'all took their team. Houston should be mad at Tennessee. The fuck? What are you so mad at? But the Titans need a lot of help. I wonder how Cam Ward's going to be. Like somebody said, I think it was you, Small Time, who said that pulling out of that game at halftime wasn't the smoothest thing. Now, yeah, they get CJ GJ. I know you're talking about cornerback, DB. I say cornerback. I should say DB because we're in this positionless football where just shit's talking about Houston. Jalen Petrie, what position is he? Is he a nickelback? Is he a linebacker? Is he a safety? That's kind of yes. Because he's really, to me, Jason Petrie's really like a linebacker. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he's listed at nickelback. Yeah. I saw that. I'm not a big Harry Potter guy. I mean, I do think it's funny how J.K. Rowling can piss off the right and the left in back-to-back projects. Because a lot of people pissed at a lot of people on the left. So I can't help but to, even if it was rather it's intentional or not, rather she had something to do with it or not, I do find that funny that this property was able to piss off both sides. So on some level, I think that's kind of cool. Even though I was never going to watch because I don't give a shit about Harry Potter. I'm not knocking it. You like the Slytherin and, you know, Dumbledore and all those other motherfuckers. Whatever the fuck. Then, you know, read to your heart's content. But I do think it's funny because everybody was so pissed at her with that fucking game. She was like a villain to the trans and to the left. And now she race swapping it. So now it's, oh, God, now they're race swapping the DEI. This is so funny. She has nothing to do with the show. But you say that, but if you remember back in the day, she had she was saying all her characters were really gay or black. And she totally had a retcon, fan fiction-esque retcon rant about all her characters being different than they've been portrayed before. So even if it wasn't her idea, which it may not be, you know, people sell rights and lose control all the time. And I'm sure she's leased out rights and all that good stuff. But I think it is. I just find it funny how that same property has successfully pissed off both sides. So I give it points, if nothing else, just for that. Even if I don't care about Quidditch and all that shit, because I'm never gonna watch the program. I'm never gonna watch any of the movies. I'm probably never gonna play that game. I'm never gonna read the book. So it's cool. Ultimate Harry Potter troll would be speculate which dude wrote the books, not J.K. The broke waitress. It's also, I mean, shit. You go conspiracy theories. A lot of people think the shit was written for her and she was just a motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they wrote it for her and made it look like she did it just to sell that story. Which does happen from time to time. I mean, I don't know if that shit's true about her. Because I don't know. Again, I don't even know enough about the story. Other than her being a broke, like I said, broke waitress and writing it and on a train or whatever the fuck they ride over in England when it was still in Europe. Dumbledore's gay. Yeah. So she had already creatively backdoored puns slightly intended to her characters. So even if she didn't do it this time, she had already done it before. Which again made it so funny that everybody, was so, she was like this right-wing icon. She was a right-wing psychopath to the left. Because how dare she not think there's more than 175 genders. But then at the same time, she race swapped. Or she, like you said, she made characters gay that weren't gay. She was one of the first major properties to do that with it. So I do that element I found funny. Otherwise, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and act like I'm an expert on these things. I think that's weak sauce too. If you don't care about the property, don't care. There's certain properties I do care about and at least like. Even something like Lord of the Rings, which I wasn't a fan of, I still like those movies. Those are really good movies, so I don't want to say I fucked up. But it's not like something like the stuff I'm really a fan of. I'm really a fan of DC Universe. I'm really a fan of Batman. I'm a pretty big fan of Marvel, but really Batman is my favorite property. And then there's other things. I like Tekken. I like certain things. I like fighting games like Street Fighter. I like sports, obviously. There's things I care about, but it's things like that. I don't like all sports. I don't care about the WNBA. I don't care about Caitlin Clark or Clark Kent or whatever this thing is. I don't care about Devil Reese, who can't fucking hit a shot. I don't care about this shit. I don't care. Sometimes I make content. Shout out to Owlman. How can I forget Owlman? Check out Rich's Owlman. It's getting more successful. I got to catch up on it. Does anybody care? Well, they kept making like... See, this is why... I know I get the rep of a conspiracy theorist. Everything's not a conspiracy, but nothing is either. This whole Caitlin Clark racial DEI weird Angel Reese beef and all these other random black lesbians who don't like her and because she's white, even though the best players in history were white, like Diana Taurasi and all these other players, but now all of a sudden this white girl's an issue. Like, this is made up. This is WWE. This is saying, hey, you know what? We're in this political zeitgeist. We don't have fans, and this bitch can shoot. I know what we're going to do. We're going to do this WWE-esque angle where everyone hates her because she's white and is white privilege, and then she's just going to be professional and shoot, and we're going to basically turn Stone Cold Steve Austin. Shooting 1-3 for white America at a time. Against the evil black lesbians who can't hit bank shots. I'm not buying it, and I'm not watching these dykes miss shots. It's still an unwatchable sport. I don't give a fuck. It's a cute little storyline. You need a little bit more to pull me in to watch this bullshit. I'm sorry. Mrs. Layups better than anyone I've ever seen. I'm sorry. But they really gimmicked this shit up. They've really gimmicked this shit up, this WNBA angle. No, I'm not watching. That's a cute storyline. I'm not watching. Suck my dick. I'm surprised he hasn't put a MAGA hat on her to create more buzz. But I heard she's neutral. I think people got mad at her about something. She said something. I think she's politically neutral. But I'm surprised she didn't go full on. It's a lesbian sex code. You see, WNBA is a lesbian sex code, right? I like it more. She did that. See, and a lot of other people would too. That would make her stone cold. She's this anti-hero, shooting one, like I said, saving white America from the evil DEI lesbian woman of color menace. Easy money. Easy money, especially because Angel Reese can't shoot. The fact that she's so garbage, that makes it even better. Like, if she was even, then you wouldn't focus on all this bullshit I just said. You would actually maybe focus on the game, and you would think that would be better, but that's not what get clicks. That's not what people want. People don't want to see. When we talk about sports, we just spent the first 30 minutes talking about contracts. It's all about everything but the fucking games. It's all about the speculation. She showed up to a football game with Tay-Tay. Oh, Lord. Reese said she wants NBA-style contracts. They did the math. They did that. Every WNBA player will owe $80K. I knew what you meant. Yeah, it's not like that. It is not like that, man. But, shout out to them. Shout out to WNBA. Shout out to WNBA. I wish you guys well. I'm not watching. But yeah, that's a gimmick they run. They need like 50. You need 50 Caitlin Clarks, man. Because the NBA has they do got a bottom half of the NBA problem, right? We're in a post-Nick Young world. Like, no disrespect. Right? No disrespect to Swaggy P. But, we're in that world where there is that class of NBA player that you're like, you hit the genetic lottery. You were on the right AAU teams. I don't know that you're really taking this shit seriously like that, my guy. But you're able to make millions of dollars. That class of NBA player exists. You got the classes working hard, trying to be the best at their game, trying to get to their team, as far in the playoffs as they can, trying to develop their skills, you do got that class player. But there is that class of player. So I don't know what number you want to say in the NBA of Caitlin Clarks they have. But it's over 100. It's over 100, right? Maybe 150, maybe, whatever it is. It's crazy. You can argue Jokic barely cares. Which I don't know how true that is, but that's definitely the demeanor. He cares more about his horses. Even though I think part of it is just frustration with the goofiness of the media. They're not getting even 50 more Caitlin Clarks. They're getting 50 more Angel Reeses. That's the problem. They keep getting Angel Reeses. Remember one old host said Draymond, he should give half his contract at WNBA? For what? You didn't marry him and put him on child support. Why did you give him half his checkup? It's hard not to see the WNBA as a lesbian sex cult. Looking like the Crystal Gems from Steven Universe. It look like Steven Universe characters. Yeah, the NBA does have 100 Jalen. Well, Jalen Green. Shout out to Jalen Green. Yeah, he was still right. He's inconsistent, but he's. You would consider him to be the best player of this team that's in the playoffs and top 4 seed. How many brownies they're getting? I would say, well, you know what? There's a lot of brownies where what I would say with brownie is guys maybe ain't the most talented, at least trying to work. I would like to think that's the bulk of the league. Now, if you're talking about just, Nepo, baby. But honestly, a lot of these kids are Nepo babies. You just know about LeBron. Jalen Brunson dad played. Obviously, Curry's dad played. A lot of these people had motherfuckers in the league. Even, LaMelo Ball, his dad was in the NFL. There's a lot of, you think it's just, everybody put it on Bronny, and you kind of should have, right? Bronny getting the NBA position that he didn't deserve, he didn't earn. I would certainly say, because he didn't do nothing in high school or college to warrant it. But he's worked. He at least trying. Because there's a lot of guys that don't fucking try. I don't know if he has enough talent to actually make an NBA roster on a long-term basis. I guess only time will tell. But he's at least putting the effort in to try to do that. But there's a lot of Nepo babies that you don't even realize Nepo babies. Like, I didn't know. It was, role players. Obviously, Bronny got a lot of pub though. And I'm not trying to be a Bronny apologist. I just think the league has. I think Bronny. I guess I'd look at Bronny more as a symptom of the modern league than a cause. There's a reason LeBron was able to pull this off. The modern league is not fielding. I don't think they're fielding the best American players. I don't think they're fielding the best players overall. Bronny might retire before LeBron, but why the hell in every international competition is America fighting for its life? Why? Something must be. There's something rotten in Denmark when it comes to the NBA for that to be the case. There's something wrong. If these are supposed to be the best players on earth by the scale in which you guys talk them up to be, then how the fuck can they not blow out every single team? How has the world caught up this much? And if it has, and that the best player in the league is a Serbian horse farmer who doesn't give a fuck, then what the fuck has happened to this league? Jokic is putting up like Wilt Chamberlain time / Oscar Robertson numbers. And he deserves his 4th MVP. We'll see what happens. And it's like he just wants to go home to his horses and shit. So, and he's just a guy from Serbia that happened to be drafted, during a fucking Taco Bell commercial. He's just a guy. So for all the fuck I know, there's hundreds of these fuckers out there that didn't make the NBA. How do I not? He's just a motherfucker. He wasn't highly touted. Even at least Luka was touted out of where was he at? Wasn't he in Madrid, Spain? I can't remember what league he was in. Maybe it was EuroLeague. Maybe it was a different one. But Jokic wasn't even in EuroLeague. It was some small Serbian league. Serbian horse farm. Yeah, Nikola Jokic is a Serbian horse farm. I'm not exaggerating or joking. That's what he is, and he's the best player in the NBA, and he looked like he's going to be the best offensive player in NBA history. If he has another few years like he's had, he already will be, and there'll be no more argument to say. Does Bronny? I wondered that. I kind of feel bad for wondering that. Fizz, does Bronny even want to be a basketball player? I guess there's a part of me that still does. I would say because he's tried, his effort shows that he probably does. But I do think there's been times when I wondered, okay, is your dad pushing you for this, for his own ego, and you're just going along, or do you really actually want to be in the league? Calling Draymond groin. I didn't notice that. I missed that, Brandon Holland. Yeah, that was another thing. Yeah. A lot of, if you go by the draft, there was guys, they were drafting him average like 5 points. They were averaging Bronny numbers. And you're like, how are you a first-round pick? And that's another thing. The picks around Bronny, a lot of them, some of them not even in the G League anymore. They have really cut off a lot of players that should have the chance to make the NBA, and they don't. Listen, am I saying or even implying they're doing this for some gambling conspiracy, because gambling is a big thing, and they want to keep control of who's in the league so they have more control over the league? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying between AAU, between the regular way, whatever, now we got this ball is life culture, the mixtape culture, between all this shit, they pick and choose who even get a chance to be in the NBA. And they're doing it to such an extent that every time these motherfuckers go into the Olympics or to the World Games or to some shit like that, even though they're the NBA players and supposed to be the best players in the world, they can barely hang. They can barely fucking hang. And they need everybody playing balls to the wall to win games. So something's up. I feel like this. A lot of guys, and luckily they're getting rid of the high school rule, which that helps in a weird way, because it's like, okay, a lot of you guys are deciding who's the first round pick before the college season even starts. Like Cooper Flagg was decided on as the first round pick. Now, he's obviously played well, but he's going to be the first pick, right? And I remember even back, a guy like Kyrie, he only played like 10 games at Duke, and he was still the number one pick. I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Now, obviously, he ended up having, one of the better careers in NBA history. But I thought it was weird that you drafted the guy number one after like 10 or 11 games. That was, speaking of Zion, we talked about him. That was weird, Remember his year at Duke and how controversial people wanted him to get shut down early. So, yeah, it's weird. Talentless left back. Well, he's definitely, he's not an NBA talent, but he might have an NBA work ethic, and that's important. We'll see. If he has enough work ethic, he could be an independent player of his dad. But, shit, you had the Nasus, you had other guys who are in the league. You do got Seth Curry, who's good on his own. But you have other guys like the Nasus, Antetokounmpo, and only get a job because you're someone's brother or whatever. So yeah, Denmark sucks confirmed, obviously. Fuck Denmark. No, Denmark didn't do that to me. He wants to be the water boy. I don't know what Jokic wants. Dad by Jokic. He just wants to mess around, be a horse farmer, be a Serbian horse farmer. That's all he wants to do. Shout out to Listless. They need more with the mentality, MJ and Kobe. That we were just talking about it. I don't think that mentality exists in sports no more. Bronny wants to be a jerkmate champ. Oh hell no! But I don't think we have people like you said. If they're getting 5 points, they're better rebound like Rodman. We don't have that. That work ethic is done for sports. It's a hustle, man. These guys are making too much money to. These guys are making too much money. Okay, it's over when he drops the OnlyFans, or he starts dropping these OnlyFans models. Once he starts getting these OnlyFans models pregnant, then he'll be out of the league soon. They don't even know how to box out. Sheesh, you're not wrong. A lot of fundamentals are missing. Guys like Marbury should have been in the league longer. Marbury is an interesting case study, man. If you look at, I remember people thought he was shooting too much as a point guard because he was kind of a scoring. He could score and get assists. He was averaging like 20 points, eight assists. And yeah, remember when he went to China and he was like the man out there? You talk about another player who could still be in the league. What about Dwight Howard? I mean, he's a little zesty, but he still probably could be in the league. Jamal Crawford kind of got kicked out early. Carmelo Anthony got kicked out early. So yeah, there's a lot of guys. You say, wait a second, they still could have been in the league. Even I thought Iverson. Maybe he was a little older, but I'm like, we saw other guys. He could have been a role player a little longer. Obviously, Vince stayed in the league for a while. But there are some guys you're just like, damn, I guess y'all just done with him forever. He can't be a backup. He can't be you know what I mean? You telling me he can't provide you no minutes? It's like, I know Jamal Crawford could have still gave you minutes. I know some of the other players could have still gave you minutes. Yeah, they don't know how to box out. Shout out to Zion Way. No feet picks. Let's expand the league with the Globetrotters. Seth Curry was in the D League and made it to the G League. And then worked till he got him and the Nasus is not the same. No, I wasn't trying to say they were the same. I was saying that Seth is actually earning his he earns his NBA spot unlike the Nasus. That's the point I was trying to make, not saying I did make that. But that's what I meant to say. Couldn't imagine Jordan doing a jersey swap with the pick. Yeah, that would have been weird. That jersey swap thing, a lot of them are just doing this shit for Instagram, especially if you play Grady Dick and you have a color as a last name. So it's like brown Dick, green Dick, black Dick, white Dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, jersey swaps at the end of games. Everybody's happy. Everybody's making 20, Jordan, when he was making $30 million a year, it was like, wow, this guy's making $30 million a year. His last few years with the Bulls, man, there's players that ain't shit is making $25 million a year to average like 15 points, and people are. I'm saying this, listen, I shouldn't say ain't shit. Shout out to Tobias Harris, right? I'm happy he's on our team again, but he's averaging like what 15, 16 points, making like $25 million, and he's not. He's productive. This is one of the positive signings for $25 million. There's guys who don't even give you that. Bradley Beal is giving you just about the same numbers I said for $50 million. $50 million to average 17, 15, 16 points. To have 2-point games. $50 million guaranteed. No trade clause. It's like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So how do you get a work ethic after that? And then when the coach said, hey, you need to play defense, thought it was disrespected. How, if you give somebody $50 million a year, they're not going to be the same. They're not going to be malleable. They're not going to listen to anything. They make $50 million guaranteed a fucking year. So I don't give a fuck about all this other shit. You're right, they weren't used to Marbury. Also got that weird distinction of getting replaced by Jason Kidd and the team got better, and he got replaced by Steve Nash and the team got better, and he averaged less turnovers than both and was a better scorer outright than Kidd. Just something with synergy. Synergy and flow. Some of that was that. You're right. They had to pay. We talked about the salary floor in this. We said this is become the sports podcast. We were talking about that earlier. The salary floor. You got to pay a certain amount, right? So they had to get them over that salary. They had to get the team over the salary floor, so he got a big contract. But we're happy to have Tobias though. At the same time, Bill Laimbeer, they basically blackballed him out of the league. He was actually a pretty good coach for the women's team back in the day. Kidd and Nash had much better flow and pace. Yeah. But it's just interesting. That's why, as much as I love Marbury, he just, it's anomalous. You know what I mean? He probably would have fared better in this era. You look at a guy, even though he's more athletic, like John Wall. John Wall's way more athletic than Marbury. Marbury had more, he could at least shoot better than Wall, though. But you look at somebody, and look what he was able to do for years. He made you think Bradley Beal was a good player. And they both did things 100 times better. It's not in the stat sheet. You got blackballed arguing with the Lakers front office. Too busy with man butt to be in the league. Like I said, he's a zesty fella. He might be too busy with man butt. But you know what? A lot of people in the league is busy with man butt. It's just, a lot of zest. A lot of people with a zesty life for life. A lot of these motherfuckers went to that white party. Kyle Kuzma and those guys. Was it Kyle Kuzma? Some of these guys, they went at Michael Rubin white party getting hugged from the back by this old Coincidence crew man who sells shitty shit. I'm glad they putting tariffs on that bullshit. Fanatics make some of the worst shit. If you want to buy an overpriced jersey that costs $150 but is made like one of those cheap jerseys that you be getting from the corner store, buy something from Fanatics. Donovan Mitchell. Is he a zesty dude? I ain't heard nothing about him. I mean, I haven't heard nothing real negative about Donovan Mitchell. It is crazy how many really good regular season teams he's been on to have never really been a finals contender, Donovan Mitchell. Because remember, they had a Utah team that won like 50 some odd 60 games. I can't remember how many. But they were like number 1, number 2. Oh, was he at one of the parties? I didn't know that. Uh-oh. So he's a fan of getting hugs from the back by strange men. That's not even a legend. That's what this dude was doing. He's hugging people from the back, hugging Lil Baby, hugging all these rappers and basketball players and football players. He could make Rudy Gobert look good. Hey, Courtney. I miss you too. I hope you're doing okay. I told your story a minute ago. But it's been a minute. I haven't been streaming as much. Hope everything's okay with that. I hope everything's okay with everything else. From the back, wait. I'm serious. If I can see these Michael Rubin pictures, let me see if I can find it. He's hugging men from the back. That's what he likes doing. I guess he does these 4th of July parties. These are weird. Hold on, let me get this on screen. Should do it in there. Right. So these are the parties. They don't have any of the zesty ones. Zesty pictures. But he has all these weird celebrities. And Tom Brady. There he is hugging people from the back. But that's not some of the crazy. Okay, here we go. Him and Joel Embiid. I mean, because you've done this to the heterosexual man. I mean, it could be drunk and playing around. I don't want to be too serious, right? But and listen, I mean, there's him with this. Listen, if he didn't make shitty quality jerseys and memorabilia, I wouldn't have no problem with him. He want to party with all these weirdos. Oh shit! What the fuck? Oh shit! Speaking of former Batman, but that's his business. You want to win an MVP, Joel? Maybe. I don't know. I'm working through stuff, you badass bitch you are. But thanks for asking. You're welcome. Hope you get okay. It's kind of what happens when you marry Gabrielle Union. You're not wrong. And not only are you saying that, what's his name? His ex-wife, who I believe is Zaya's biological mom, said that in one of these like court cases of, I don't know what it was, either divorce or some alimony case, whatever. Zaya's mom said that Dwayne Wade was pushing the homosexuality for clout, basically, and pushing the transgenderness of his daughter, son, whatever you prefer that doesn't piss you off. So that's what she said. So I don't know. I'm just a guy. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Shout again to our guy Michael Rubin. Oh yeah, AB. So we got Dwayne Wade Magic debating on whose son takes more vicious dick from the back. That's also pretty weird. These two NBA players. I mean, we'll leave it alone. That's their business. Oh yeah, AB. Remember we actually heard that song and it's like totally different. You thought it was gonna be an R&B song, some country dude. But yeah, hi to Courtney. I don't, we cannot confirm, deny that Michael Rubin and Joel Embiid had a relationship for Joel to win the MVP. That's another guy talking about not playing. He's only played 400 some odd games. We really could have got Magic in the modern era. Oh man. Yeah, we could have. He was like the guy's 6'8", his son. But I mean, he wants to take dick from the back. That's his business. It's a free country. If he wants to take dick from the back, that's what he wants to do. You know what I mean? What do you do? He doesn't want to, run the pick and roll. He'd rather just pick a hole. I hope that's not the case either, Fizz. But these celebrities are weird. I just showed Tom Brady. You guys ever see Tom Brady kiss his son on one of these weird documentaries? That's a weird scene. We saw what's the Fresh Prince kiss his son all on TV. Some of these celebrities do weird shit, man. No, I ain't taking dick. But I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Some motherfuckers is gay. Like, motherfuckers is gay as fuck out here, man. So what we're supposed to do? Just, that's their business. As long as they ain't messing with kids. Now that's the shit that's fucked up. I mean, but motherfuckers grown and want to take dick, that's on him. You know what I mean? It's on them. Yeah, you did go this pick and roll. How about some dick and roll? This is gay. I don't know why we talking about these gay, these gay players. He had his son on his lap on the pool. See, this is what I mean. These motherfuckers be weird as fuck. And shit, we just showed you the Michael Rubin party. Only 10 to 15 years before we find out those is Diddy parties. Now, a lot of people think Will Smith did something with both his children. Yeah, that's a widely held rumor. Maybe Smith and Gollum, Jada. I think they did it with the son and the daughter. And he has other sons that you never see. Everybody know about his son. He got a son and 2 daughters with Jada. But I think he's got at least another son. And you never see that his oldest son is by somebody else. You never see him. I don't know where he is. He's got to be my age or very close to it. Maybe even older. I don't know. I think he played college football. I can't remember, man. I'm an ood fart. What is this?
On age.
What is this shit? Oh, yeah. I vaguely remember this. Hold on.
On age. And I look, and
Shout out to Karl Malone. So what's Karl Malone's son did? Some of these guys try to play the... Yes, you're not wrong with Kevin Spacey. And other these guys, they play the gay card so they can avoid the fact that they... Like, okay, you're gay, but why do you like kids? Like, you know what I mean? A lot of them do use that. Kevin Spacey definitely... And Kevin Spacey, did he even go to jail? Was he messing with a 14-year-old? Didn't even serve a day in jail. Karl Malone had a son in the NFL. I didn't know that. But here's what's his name? Jaden?
On age. And I look, and I go around sometimes, and I hang out with other people that are my age, and they're just kind of just selfie. I'm just like, dude, like, oh my God, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
You know, how about we don't talk about the political and economic state of the world all the goddamn time? Kevin Spacey fled. A lot of these motherfuckers fled. Tom Hanks fled, didn't he? Somehow he's still getting movies, but he allegedly fled. But I think too many people are talking about the political and economic state of the world. I know it seemed like, let's talk about that every 5 minutes. None of us got an answer. None of us know what the fuck is going to happen. And listen, everybody got a right to criticize. You got the right to talk about it. I'm not just saying sit down and shut up. I'm not saying none of this shit scares me. But I am saying I'm old enough to remember a bunch of crazy shit with a bunch of these fucking presidents. I'm at a point with my life where I have to start focusing on things that I care about and less about things that are not going to serve me. And if I don't, then, you know, when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not going to, that damn Trump. You know what I mean? I don't have the time to do that. I don't have time for that. Why is it I always got the right to say something, but never the left? Kamala Harris. Where is the doo-doo-doo? Talk. All I see. You're right. That's another thing. Everybody's talking. You know, at a certain point, you need some action. I guess, you know, people may say the economic boycotts and stuff. I guess. You could argue we should have boycotted stuff a while ago. You are hearing weird stuff. That tariff stuff created a lot of weird stuff. He never had a chance. No, he never had a chance. That's a Hollywood weirdo relationship. I'm not going to show y'all. Can look up. His dad basically assaulted him. Was on the Ellen show, one of these shows, and I think again at a red carpet. There's something weird happening in that family, man. You're not gonna convince me otherwise. And then his friend ends up fucking his mom. Because it was Jaden's friend, right? That she was fucking on. You talking about the political economic state of the world. What's going on in your house, homie? That's what you need to worry about. What the fuck is going on in your house? And like you said, he probably ain't have a chance. I think they've been messing with him, some of these weirdos. I think both. Everything I'm saying is alleged from just a motherfucker on the internet. Don't take it, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. Just like I don't know why people on Twitch trying to sell me views. Man, go on somewhere. Get out of here. These bots. But yeah, I think they was fucking on. I do think these celebrities was fucking on their kids. I don't think these are the only ones. I think these just most known because they was pushing their kids. But I think this is a common thing. Friend worse smashing out. All thing, yeah. This is weird motherfuckers, bro. Weird motherfuckers. And I mean, that's not even getting into that bullshit slap. Just weird. It's Hollywood, man. There's a reason they call that shit Hollywood, bro. It's a weird place. It's crazy that they have been in control of the cultural zeitgeist as long as we've all been alive. Everyone in this chat, myself included, they've been in control. These type of weird motherfuckers have been controlling everything we see, everything we think about the world. Because these weird motherfuckers ain't just in Hollywood or ain't just in sports. They're in the news. They're in the news media. We heard about, what's the guy on the Today Show, Matt Lauer. And it's not just him, it's program directors, it's all sorts of weird motherfuckers throughout the whole media entertainment sphere, and that ended up being the backbone for Western culture for the past 50 to 70 years. They're all weird perverts, almost unerringly. All of them. All of them. Yes, you may only know about a Weinstein or a Diddy. We're talking about some of these weird celebrities. Tom Hanks is one of them. You know what I mean? Even Jim Carrey, he's all supposed to be some earthy guy that everybody loves, but we forget that he gave his wife herpes, and then she killed herself, or his ex-wife, or whatever she was to him. That's something I think you can still look that up, because I remember when it happened. All these fuckers are weird, man. All these fuckers are weird. John Legend and his weird ass ugly face, light skinned wife, as Cat Williams say, she's a weird motherfucker. She's a PDF file type motherfucker. The Wachowskis went to freak off parties before they became trans, used drugs. Extended orgasms administered by dominatrix. Did not know that, but again, not surprised. Yep, Chrissy Teigen. You said Jim. Which Jim do we talk about? I talked about Tom Hanks, but there's a lot of these weird motherfuckers. Just all these weird motherfuckers. Just weird. They were. Oh, jeesh. JE visitors. Multiple times. Oof. Well, I'm not shocked, man. I'm not shocked. It's a weird place. It's a weird place. Some of this, the Epsteins, the Diddys, the whoever, some of it's blackmail. Some of it, this is they taste in culture. She was pregnant a few years ago, then Planned Parenthood it, and then blame MAGA. That's very weird. But I'm glad she shouldn't have no babies. She shouldn't give no birth to more demons. Hope they bloodline die with them. We got enough demons on this earth. I hope they not reproduce as much abuse they put on those babies. Hope to God they never have babies. At least if even half of the stuff I heard about them is true. Tom Cruise. I meant to say Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is the one who left. Tom Cruise might be one of the normal ones out there, because he used to talk shit about the drug companies. I think he had that famous thing with dude I just mentioned, Matt Lauer. Talk about how fucked up the drug company was, but they tightened him up. I don't know. He had his little freak out on Oprah, and then he just started focusing on the movies. But I don't know. Sometimes you have the motherfuckers, I mentioned Cat Williams, who come off and they seem like they're not a part of the system. And maybe they ain't, maybe they is. I couldn't tell you. I don't go to eyes wide shut parties. Said most senile motherfucker. But I mean, you think Tom Cruise, he was the guy in Eyes Wide Shut. You think he don't know what's going on? You think he just, you know what I mean? He's never done nothing strange for a little change? Oh, sane, I see. He does, but, again, he was in that movie. Maybe he did that movie because he wanted to expose it. I don't know. I don't know. We know, that's a deep dive. A lot of people have done deep dives on it, and they've been so effective at it, there'd be no point. And I definitely don't want to rewatch that fucking movie. I barely want to rewatch the Batman. But Eyes Wide Shut, that's a huge rabbit hole. So is the whole, there's a lot of rabbit holes with Stanley Kubrick. The moon landing thing and The Shining is obviously a thing. And then the whole movie Eyes Wide Shut. The fact that apparently they were, apparently is some implied pedo stuff. Stick to the script on and off screen. Yeah, he used to say shit about the drug companies, but he stopped doing that. But a lot of these motherfuckers, they're under control of some kind. Rather you think it's as esoteric as mind control or as basic as blackmail, they're under control of the system. Of this, of this weird thing. They can only do or say so much. Even if they are one of the quote unquote good ones, if there is such a thing, which I couldn't tell you if they are or not. I just watch this shit like y'all, man. I don't know if these motherfuckers are legit. You would hope they are, right? There's no P3DO stuff in the original Shiny. Stop written by King. Said the quiet part out loud, but IDK. Hey Chris, appreciate you being here. Man with tiny hat. Oh boy, coincidence. Oh boy, we'll leave that alone. I would love to get through a stream without talking about them, but we start talking. That's they get brought up. The coincidence crew. It's just a coincidence, man. It's just a coincidence. They started, isn't it? It's just a coincidence. They started and run every single entertainment company there is. Coincidentally. Just all of them. But, yeah. Hollywood's a weird place, man. And again, they've been in control of our culture for 50, 60 years. It's not the worst thing that Hollywood is burning. It's not the worst thing that mainstream entertainment does suck, right? But it also means these assholes have way less power. And I know there's still super fans of all these weirdos. They still exist. And that's fine. But there's way less of them. There's way less mainstream celebrity psyops. A lot of them were immigrants or sons of immigrants. They had same work ethics. That's not untrue. That's not untrue. That's a fair point. Maybe we get a little higher social credit score. Not quite social credit score. Well, probably in control of that too. Because you don't think they control China. And not just them. Jesus, just the powers that be. I'm not trying to imply any crazy conspiracy. Because I do not want that smoke, and I don't believe it. Actually, I don't. I mean, the quantifiable is the quantifiable, right? But I don't believe it's just that group, right? So, nor do I believe everyone in that group is something. So I'm probably doing myself no good or no favors. But so I'll just carry on. I'll just carry on. Diddy is not the only one. Someone shout out Diddy. But it is weird that now everybody got a Diddy story, right? Terrence Howard, weird ass. Oh, Diddy was trying to fuck me. Oh, well, that's weird. You didn't say. Funny you to mention it now. Shout out, homie. I'll be honest. Media doesn't hit the same. No, media's not hitting the same for nobody. Media's not hitting the same for nobody. But like I said, maybe it's not the worst thing. Because when it was hitting, we was letting some of the weirdest. We didn't know these motherfuckers was all evil, weird PDF files, but they fucking were. If you watch Nickelodeon and shit for years, that motherfucker Dan Snyder was fucking on a lot of young girls. While you sit there watching Nickelodeon, if you're of a certain age. Really, that's a little bit younger than me, but still, Kanye getting diddied out. Who knows? Oh, you say he's getting Diddy out? I doubt it. He gonna resurrect Mustache Man to get Diddy out. If he could, he probably would. What if his whole time it's really been Diddy? ? Apparently, it was based on Biggie comparing them to Diddy Kong off of Donkey Kong Country. That's apparently where it starts from. You're 30, so that's your era. So yeah, you mentioned. If you watched, grew up with Nickelodeon, even as old as something like All That, which I grew up with that. I'm only a little older than you. I'm 37. But, you grew up with All That. You watch Nickelodeon, just think, oh, it's just, show for people my age, TV network for people my age, not knowing one of the head producers of a lot of these shows is fucking on the characters. Shout out to Drake and Josh. I saw they reunited recently. Never liked the Nick sitcoms as a kid. But yeah, still like goddamn. And there's motherfuckers like that who you don't know of who helped write every other thing that you liked. If he starts sporting a stash. Yeah, that old fucking guy. Yeah, he's a character. I guess I'm supposed to be more offended by him. I am more annoyed. It's like, okay, guy. We get it. You know. Make Graduation again. How about that? He made Graduation. That was fucking over 15 years ago. Make something good now. Make something good this decade. Can you do that? Jesus. Yeah, Dan Snyder, mega perv looking dude. Mega perv looking dude. How this guy didn't go to jail, I mean, I'll never know. I'll never know. Yeah, Dan Snyder, mega perv. This guy was fucking on at least allegedly Amanda Bynes amongst others. Graduation was a good album. His shit was good up until even as late as what was that shit? Life of Pablo. But even that's like 9 years ago. Yeah, it was 9 years ago. Came out 2016, it's 2025. So even that's almost 10 years old. There's a couple songs since then that he's had amongst the rest of his projects, amongst Donda. I was a Kanye fan, and so I know. Well, yeah, Donda, Vultures, the gospel one, which I actually kind of liked. I forgot what it was, Jesus is King, I think it was. I like that Kanye. Everybody else didn't, but so now we got Hitler Kanye. But I didn't mind. I like Christian Kanye. I'm surprised he hasn't dressed up his mustache, man. World War III? Is that? Hey, Dad, man, appreciate you being here. Is that the new one that you keep playing me, sending me that clip of? That shit sounds trash. Is Amanda Bynes doing the OnlyFans? See, most girls I would say, oh, ha, ha, ha. Knowing what she went through, that's sad. Okay. Set of normal armbands, the letters yay. Ah, man. That's sad. She's on the OnlyFans. Like the Corman Kanye. Instead of normal, that's funny. Or the Ye find it. He really might as well. He's got. I mean, he did the Black Klansman thing. So I mean, there's only one more step to go, right? Like, what else can you do? Or did Ye find it? What did Ye find? What did I miss? Big He. Oh, Big He. In the store, the normal arm. Oh, okay. So. I've been waiting for Ye Halloween. He's an SS soldier. He's going to do it. It will happen. Kanye left Kim because she likes black men. Ye is invaded Poland. Oh, shit. I thought, what was it? Yachty here invaded Poland. Oh, he just bought Poland to walk. Kanye left Kim because she likes black men. That's fucking great. Fucking crazy. I don't know. I find it more entertaining than I should. I admit. I shouldn't be entertained by Kanye West. It's not right to laugh at somebody who's clearly suffering from mental illness, man. It's not right. Get Ye on stream. I wish I could get Ye on stream. Ye became such a Nazi that Nazi hired him. Oh, Lord. Nah. You know, Ye the type of person that would go, like, if I sent the message, he's like, I'm going to go some random dude stream just because, just see what happened. Ye might, you know what? I should probably DM and see what he says. New track, Rocket Man, I haven't heard that. Him on Antonio Brown. I should message both. I don't know if I got the ball. I'm going to message both. What they going to do? Say no? Well, the worst, that's the infamous joke. The worst they could do is say no, and then it's like some terrible thing. Kanye and Randy Quaid. You know what, man? Everyone thought Randy Quaid was crazy. Everyone thought this guy was crazy. Like, yeah, they're star whackers. Bro, the way celebrities get clapped, I say Randy Quaid is everything but correct, man. Channel immediately gets deleted. Careful, DM might put a demon on you. You got experience with that? Is that why you're saying that? But yeah, Randy Quaid, for those who don't remember, back in the late 2000s, early 10s, can't remember quite when. Pause. Or that wasn't pause. But he was talking about that there's these star whackers, these celebrity murderers, and they were trying to murder him and his family. And everyone made fun of him, like, this guy's crazy. But we've seen weird things with celebrities. I talked to, if I can get it right, which Tom, talked about Tom Hanks. Go look up Isaac Cappy if you want to hear about somebody who died under mysterious circumstances. I'm talking like I need to be successful. Anytime somebody has a breakthrough, we think, oh, this guy's going to die. Just like the guy who's making fuel out of plastic on the internet. I'm sure some of you guys may have seen him in the comments. Just protect this guy because we think something might happen to him. So there's definitely something to the idea that there are high profile, rather you want to say government, Hollywood, powers that be, infamous Illuminati, whatever it is. More than likely it's a 3-letter intelligence agency from this country or another, or a combined intelligence agency amongst the powerful countries and powerful people that we may be not privy to. More than likely it's some or military intelligence agency that we're not privy to. More likely that's the actual factual what's going on with some of these situations. I heard for Linkin Park fans, Chester Bennington's son wants to open up an investigation into his father's death. There's Nirvana fans who don't necessarily think that situation was a self-deletion, which I hate saying. I should say in both cases, the official story is that they took their own lives. A lot of people think that Chester Bennington was doing a documentary on Hollywood and the government and their like for the youth, we'll just say. And that's what happened to him, that he was doing this documentary. And then, we've heard this rumor on a lot of people. We've heard that rumor about, what's the guy, Fast and the Furious, Paul Walker? Yeah, he was involved in some documentary. Whenever there's somebody involved in a documentary that's either very helpful, rather it was Nipsey Hussle and Dr. Sebi, or very detrimental, like the alleged documentaries, the numerous that have been rumored about predators, child predators in high places. Something happens. It just does. And it keeps happening. And it consistently happens. I'm just a guy on the internet. I don't know if any of this shit's true, but there's a reason, there's a meme joking that, oh man, the guy next to you on the plane said he just invented some, new power source or something, and the plane's gonna crash, right? And even in some of these plane crashes, you're like, oh, there's links to something powerful and important. Shit, the Titanic didn't Titanic itself. I'm not saying you got to believe in all conspiracy theories, but you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? Oh, Anne Heche, we played her a few weeks ago. Oh, that Anne Heche thing is so creepy. Fuck me. Yeah, Anthony Bourdain was another guy alleged to have said that. Or been into that. Or trying to get a documentary going. And weirdly enough, the girl that he was with was allegedly a piece of lover. There's a lot of weird stuff, man. Weirdly, they got stories. He's going to shoot bop the booty bop. Okay, let's look at Fizz's art. Let's see what's going on here. Uh-oh, is it not going to let me? It's not going to. Oh, no, don't log in because I don't want to reopen an account. Okay, I don't think I can see it, Fizz. If you do have a Twitter, you can see it, though. I'm sorry, it won't let me see it. Zeus, could you not do that? I can hear you on the. He's gonna find out what Grandpa owed the pig. Move, Zeus, move. Why you do this? Oh, puppy. Oh, there's a documentary on Amazon by Anne Heche. I didn't know she got a documentary out. Man, we've played the video of her when she's getting picked up and she's alive and they shove her back in that bag. So only God knows what happened to her. You say you can find out what going. I don't get the pig farm outside DC, but Brandon saying something. They got teleportation tech. Wow, that's crazy. Yes, we did say something about conspiracies. Whatever gaming. Man, teleportation tech is crazy. Teleportation tech is a wild thing to think. Oh, did you see? I see the Anne Heche video. I can pull it up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, she was getting pulled away. I thought I played it a few weeks ago. Maybe you weren't here, or maybe you just didn't happen to see that moment of Anne Heche. She, rest in peace to her. She got into a car accident. They are wheeling her away. And Zeus, could you not do this, please? I'm trying to talk. Oh, puppy, I'm sorry. My dog, I don't know what he's eating on. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. In any event, okay, let me see if I can find this Anne Heche clip. Zeus, why you bothering me while I'm streaming, buddy? Don't do this to me. I love you. I give you food and water. This is what you do to me, Zeus. Okay, let me find this Anne Heche clip. It's very creepy. And teleportation, that opens up some ethical things. If I teleport, I am me. I'm vigilante. I am in Houston, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go home to Detroit. So I teleport. How is that happening? What I mean is my body being physically moved to another place, or, and this is the horrifying thing, is a copy of me with my memory being created in Detroit, and the Houston me just gets murdered. Is that how teleportation works? Because you almost imagine that is how it works, right? Or maybe I'm just too dumb to realize they have the clips. Okay, here it is. Yeah, she looked pretty spry for someone who was dead, unless it's a portal. Now, a portal's different. A portal is a wormhole of some sort being opened, and there's a doorway doorway for lack of a better term. And on this side is this part of the world, and on the next side, if I walk through it, is a different world. That would theoretically make a little bit more sense. Knowing our people that fuck you up, put the moon down top. Okay, let's show this weirdness.
They're waiting to speak to the actress, but one thing we can say for certain, a lot of damage was done out here. Just take a look. This is the house right here behind us here in Mar Vista. This is on Walgrove Avenue. Part of the house to a local hospital. She suffered significant injuries and some serious burns.
Watch this
according
shit.
to the fire department. The LAPD saying that Heche appeared to be under the influence and was acting erratically. According to witnesses, she may have also been speeding. They saw
and
her
it gets
in a
worse.
Mini
There's
Cooper.
another
They
angle.
say she first crashed into an apartment building near here, then took off from that location and ended up crashing into this house here on Walgrove. This Mar Vista home immediately caught fire. It took 59 firefighters about about an hour to fully put out the fire. Following the accident, a rep for the actress released this statement to CNN. Take a look. Anne is in the ICU. She's lucky to be alive. She has severe burns and a long recovery ahead of her.
As we continue,
live footages. There's a better angle of her moving, and that's what I'm trying to find. Oh, Jesus, internet.
Transition to real quick. They were taken to the hospital, as you can see there, in a hurry to get out of that car that crashed into that home. They were worried about the structural damage of that home as it was built in the 1950s, and you can see the house give Days, 7 Nights, Donnie Brasco, Wag the Dog, Volcano, a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
And there is
that's
a dramatic
her
moment there just before being put
that's her
to the and
she ended up dead. That's the angle I'm looking at.
Just before being put into the ambulance to take.
So she's dead now. Rest in peace.
In the house,
but a lot of people think something happened to her. A lot of people think something happened to her brakes.
Identified as Anne Heche. You probably know
that she maybe didn't have control over. And her car was crashed, and then when she gets up, it's almost like is she trying to escape? What's going on? Who knows? They put her in the damn thing. 6'3" if you're wondering, 3 6s if you're looking into that sort of thing. So, I don't know. I'm not saying Illuminati confirmed, but you tell me what you think. You tell me. No, she's dead as fuck. She's dead, bro. She's dead than the motherfucker. Teleportation works like bending space. Now, that would be one thing. Teleporting jugs of water, teleported airplane. Oh, Lord. We really get down the conspiracy rabbit hole today. Hopefully, we still got this channel tomorrow. Knowing our people, they will fuck up and try to put the moon on top of them. I don't know about. I hope not. I'm in another world. I'm German. Oh, now you're German. Michael Hastings. What happened to Michael Hastings? Get a kill switch for your car. Oh, yeah. Long ass comments. Oh, boy. I don't know if I can say that word. Whatever. Oh, man. I wouldn't suggest anybody look it up. I don't even know how to phrase what that word means. There's an alleged video by that name, that whatever gaming just put in the chat, that has a lot of high profile women. And the only reason I say alleged because I've never looked it up, but it apparently does exist, of a lot of high profile women with a lot of the youth. Michael Hastings with a journalist whose car got hacked. Video exists. Wow. So Ellen, who Anne Heche used to date Ellen, for those who are not old enough to remember. Allegedly, Anne Heche also produced a documentary talking about Hollywood's like for the youth. And we see something weird happen with her brakes. She crashes. She's trying to get out of the whatever hospital restraint she's on. She's shoved into that truck that had 6 and 3 on top of it, and next time we see her, she's dead. I did see subatomic teleportation back in the day. That's not even new. That's like from almost 2015, something like that. But I didn't hear about modern teleportations. You know what? And Uma, whose husband liked the youth, everyone made fun of him, formerly Anthony Weiner, and now he's with, I'm assuming Alex is George's son. Can I even say these names? These names, just like I was talking about Chester Bennington, his father, his alleged father, because I don't know if that is his father or not, but he's a high profile guy for Hillary, and I don't want to say his name. It ironically starts with a P. But him and his brother are weird folk. Not saying that Chester's really related to him. That was that part of the conspiracy was never confirmed. But all the other stuff, there's another nickname for that. I call it bagel fence. You might call it something else. the driver of his car was a licensed race car driver. That's crazy. Yep, we talked about. That's how we started the conversation. We talked. Well, I don't know if it was Paul Walker. I forgot who we started with. Oh, you said something. Somebody said something about Randy Quaid, and that led to me about how everybody who has a documentary or is involved in a documentary on PDF files in Hollywood, something happens to their car. Hell, if you guys remember, Cameron Pasha, he does a lot of stuff with my man Paulie nowadays. Way back in the day, 4 or 5 years ago, he was on this channel, and he talked about the Mossad. This is his words: the Mossad being involved in Hollywood and overhearing or hearing a story second or third hand about producers threatening to cut each other's breaks over Hollywood moves. So, and this, that wasn't even none of the sick shit. And he said a lot of the shit is true. Now, you could think his credits for Hollywood are overstated. You cannot. That's your business. I know not everybody agrees with everything Cameron Pasha says, but he was on this very channel and he alleged these things. So it's certainly in the realm of plausibility. Wes just mentioned getting a kill switch for your car. I'm just presenting information. A lot of this could be, for everything I said couldn't have been verified. You could pull this up I would say some of this stuff, if you're a little more adept with a VPN, it probably don't matter much, but protect yourself. I'm sure if the FBI wants to come to your door and ask you why are you looking up certain individuals, they could. I know there's certain, at least at a time, there were certain names you couldn't say on YouTube. If you say it, you're just done because of the conspiracy around that name. There's certain phrases you still can't say on YouTube. Ye, I guess it's between Ye and Stephen A. Smith. Anton Yelchin was actually that name sounds familiar as well. I tried Hitman Blood Money, but it crashed at the first minute. That sucks. Old tires allegedly, but it was high speed, like Hastings and H. John Post, yep, you know what I'm talking about. And again, I don't know if he's really related to Chester Bennington, but you put their pictures side by side, it definitely seems to be a resemblance. And I don't know what happened to Chester Bennington. I know, like I said, his son is looking into his death and wants to make sure that the official story is official. His son is now in his 20s, I believe. Oh, you got this on tape. I'm scared if I even want to play this. The Michael Hassett crash. The fact that he had a driver that was a race car driver. So, yeah, I guess this bitch is with Soros' kid. You know who else whom Aberdeen was connected to? It is connected to. Two people, actually. Is it her brother? Okay, she has a cousin who works for Marvel. She's the one who came up with, or gets credit for coming up with the modern Miss Marvel or Marvel girl, whatever, the Kamala Khan. She came up with that, and she's a high exec in Marvel. She's part of the reason that Marvel game flopped. I used to know her name, Sana Amanat. And then there's a male part of their family. I don't know if it's her brother or it's Uma's brother, who's a big exec in Hollywood as well. So that family's connected all the way. They're connected in Hollywood. They're connected in politics. I can't think of the brother's name, but he's a big wig in Hollywood, and she's a big wig. I don't know if she's still at Marvel, but I'd be shocked if they let somebody like her go, because she's the connection between them and the DNC, or one of the connections. So yeah, some people are really clicked up in this shit. He played check up in the new Trek movies. I see. I don't know what I'm not a Vance guy. Listen, I'm not a right wing guy by any means. Like I said, I'm pretty critical of the modern administration. I'm pretty critical of both sides, though. I'm not. This political dick sucking has to stop. But yeah, Vance is, to me, he's a weirdo. He don't be shocked. You know, I know a lot of people want to get political and think, oh, never my side. It wouldn't shock me if Vance is one of these type of freaks. I know some people, oh, it was just a picture. And then they would just oppose him to that weirdo. Was it Tim Walz? Is that the guy who was the vice president on the other side? He's so weird. Like, there was no out weird in that motherfucker. I forgot all the weird shit he was in. Cause, you know, y'all talk about it, it goes in one ear and out the other. I ain't gonna lie. I remember it slightly, but, you know, I smoke weed. I got a job. I can't remember everything. Is Kissinger happily meeting with Chairman Mao? The CCP a bit. Is Kissinger meeting with Chairman Mao? Shit, I don't want to say nothing bad about them. I need the social credit score. I'm trying to get my real credit score up. I need my social credit score to go up. Check off. Yep, Sana Amanat. And Omar Amanat. Okay. Thank you, Fizz. Clutch Fizz. Oh, Omar Amanat. So it's Sana's brother. I knew I knew he existed. I could not tell you his name. Omar Amanat. Thank you, Fizz. Omar's in jail. Whoa. Yeah, Umar Aberdeen, who is her cousin. That's who we were talking about. Her cousin is dating or married or messing with George Soros' son, apparently. And apparently likes him young. Likes him real young. And is on tape with the youth, allegedly. So Omar is Sana's older brother. He's a Hollywood executive and he's a swindler. Yeah, that family is a wild family. And Umar Aberdeen is their cousin. Yep. I forgot about the swindling shit. Because that's semi-recent, isn't it? Him going to jail. Yeah, shit. Omar, thank you for that. I could not think of this motherfucking name. Just went totally blank. When did that shit, Omar, happen? 2017. Yeah, I knew it was semi-recent. So through the last 10 years, he was, so he's already out. He says it's 5 years. So he was a little scammer. Yeah, all sorts of shit. Oh man, he was so okay. I'll just show some of this article. Omar Amanat. Oops, wrong one. This Omar Amanat. He was convicted December of 2017 for a conspiracy scheme. We're not going through everything. Just so he's been a big wig for a while. He co-founded Peak Groups Holding, largest shareholder of Twilight, which y'all know that made money. He had a 20% stake of Peak Groups Holding. Summit acquired by the Hunger Games, Lionsgate. Pete became one of his shareholders. So he was connected to the Twilight Saga and the Hunger Games saga. So he's made him some money. And connected to Summit Entertainment. So he was connected to a lot of this shit. I guess even resorts and shit. But as far as the bankruptcy back in the day, they all do, don't they? So Amanat was arrested in a conspiracy case, former technology company. What did they do? Oh, defraud investors. Oh, they ain't giving 5 years to the 44 months. So he probably is out. So he got 44 months time served plus towards 5 years. What's 44 months? That's almost 4 years. So he's out. He's got to be out there. He only got 5 years. So, yep, this is a family. Brother Sana Amanat and cousin of Umar Aberdeen, who's a Clinton longtime aide. So, yeah. Everybody connected. Who the fuck are these people, right? It's like, what? Everybody's connected. You're telling me the motherfuckers who were involved with the Hunger Games and Twilight also got family involved with politics and involved with Hillary Clinton? Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. And then got another family member involved at Marvel. What the fuck? That's why I don't just put it on the coincidence crew. It ain't just them who you find motherfuckers with they tender. Like, wait, what? This didn't accidentally happen. You know what I'm saying? Where just one family did this. This is a coincidence too. That's why you can't just put it on the crew. They ain't the only ones who got these weird coincidences. Where just one family is like, who are you people? Why do you control all this shit? And no one would have known any of these motherfuckers' name if it wasn't for probably the cousin in that fucking if they didn't fuck up that Avengers games, maybe nobody. Well, y'all probably know Uma because of her frazzle. I don't want to finish it. And yeah, Bradley Beal was an NBA champ's babysitter. Omar actually got signed to the job at Marvel. I'm sure he did because he's the oldest one. And it looks like he was moving shit around a little earlier than she was. Yeah, it's all connected, man. A lot of these motherfuckers are connected, man. That didn't just mistakenly happen. You know what I'm saying? That's just one random family that none of y'all knew. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't know who the fuck they were. Some of y'all, obviously, Fizz did. But, and I barely do because I forgot the motherfucking name. That's just one family. It's all sorts of fucking families like that all throughout fucking Hollywood. All throughout even sports. You mentioned that Bradley Beal happened to be Jason Tatum's babysitter. Think about Tom Brady, his dad, Tom Brady, because he's Tom Brady Sr. His dad's a billionaire. He's like this billionaire insurance guy. I'm not saying that and obviously we know of Tom Brady for being this low draft pick, high work ethic guy, right? And he may have been. And he, the eye test said he was. He also was a billionaire's son. I don't know, man. Omar also produced The Hurt Locker. I see. I remember that movie. That movie had a lot of buzz, a lot of Oscar buzz at the time as well. I knew Shauna because she was around the stupid decisions. That's what I'm saying. She really blew the top off everything. She kept pushing Miss Marvel. And how I found out about Sana Amanat was the rumor that they gutted the game to feature Miss Marvel. Once that rumor came out, it's like, oh, Sana Amanat, her cousin is related to the Clintons. I'm like, what the fuck? And that's how I came to know of these humans, was because of that fucking game and the way they feature Miss Marvel. Because it was supposedly her. And apparently it's not even her character, but she just takes credit for it. And so it ended up, the rumors was she pushed that shit on the game. And obviously, the game, that wasn't the only reason the game flopped, but it was one of them. And I'm like, what the fuck? Omar helped the sister get in tight before the sale. I see. So because of stupid decisions at Marvel Comics. And yeah, she did more than just that character. She made a lot of decisions, not to go back to, this has been sort of a classic episode, the wokeness. But, she was definitely a big wig when it came to woke. And it still is. I think she still is at Marvel. Yeah, Kamala Khan's directly based on Sana, yeah. Or, based on whatever her view of herself is, obviously. And she's still there at Marvel. She's still there. So, yeah. She's still a big wig. And she's still one of the, she's an executive producer on Daredevil right now. She's an executive producer on Daredevil. The people love the Daredevil, but she's still involved with that. So she's still active. I'll show y'all. This is Osana with Obama. So she's a little short. But she's an executive producer on, she was obviously executive producer, and she even had a cameo, of course, with that Miss Marvel show nobody watched. But even this Daredevil Born Again that a lot of people like, she's involved in that. And she's done all these other specials for them. So she's already, she's already up there. Marvel Overwatch. That's what it is. And then they end up getting it right with Marvel Rivals by just leaning into it. People get to pay the Joker off Marvel Rivals. It's a boring game to watch. Man, they were pushing the shit out of that Marvel Rivals. You know what, man? I couldn't get into it. I had tried and couldn't get it playing, but I'm not good at those fucking type of games. They are pushing that Marvel Rivals, so I thought it was legitimate. Is it AstroTurf? They making it seem like a bigger game than it is. Marvel Overwatch. People been loving mid. People love mid entertainment because we don't even get that half the damn time. We'd be happy for some mid entertainment. Have a villain directly based on Omar, one of your stories. That's pretty cool. Always interested to have professional criminals hide in plain sight. The main, as are a lot of things, Fizz, the main point of Marvel Rival is the sex appeal. We in the Goon era. People love Gouda. They love Gouda. Gouda, yep. They love Gouda, and apparently, yep. They doing the AstroTurf says Forbidden Rule. Appreciate you being here if I didn't say that. Appreciate you being here, man. But yeah, man, that's crazy. I'm not shocked though. I'm not shocked. Got going off of this going the fuck out of this MTX. What's MTX? Do I even want to know? I probably don't. I'm not impressed at all.
Música de los memes.
Supposed to go to the edge. I'm good. I guess for comedy's sake, we'll play a little bit.
I be gooning, I be edging, I be gooning, I be edging, I be gooning, I be edging.
This is the most internet moment of my life.
I be edging, I be
looking at this album cover with all these memes.
I be edging.
All right. Don't goon or edge, man. No fap. Or at least, less fap if you can help that. Microtransactions. Oh, Jesus, yeah. I don't even want to pay for microtransactions for games I like. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to play Jesus, I'm sick of microtransactions. Max B. Max B gets out soon, doesn't he? Shout out to Jim Jones stealing his style. Maybe some songs. This could take over. Yeah, the internet's for poor. What is Fizz got for us? You know why this is this is somebody's life. Some version of this. People in the community. What the fuck? That's it. What the fuck was that ending? I've been to an Eyes Wide Shut party, but he's a kid. The fuck are they trying to tell you there? And the shit. Remember, what's his name? Used to joke about Weinstein. Seth MacFarlane. Remember he used to joke about Weinstein all the goddamn time? Oh, you said that for the chat. Well, oh well. Hopefully we'll make it. Hope we'll make it. That's still crazy. I appreciate you sharing it anyway, whether it's for the chat or not. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane is okay. I ain't about to keep playing Family Guy because I don't want to keep getting in trouble. But yeah, he had joked about Weinstein. So I don't know if that's one of those, references, him saying something about Eyes Wide Shut. Probably. Because you know how the Simpsons predict shit, and I think even South Park has predicted shit. Oh wow. I'm off screen. I'm watching the Michael Hastings crash. I don't know if I'm gonna show that. I probably got myself in enough trouble. Maybe that's why he said something. I'm not sure. Obviously, we found out a little bit more about the Weinstein. Entire Weinstein episode was jokes on people of a certain background, we'll call it. But that's crazy. I don't know if I saw that episode. I was more talking about he had he would make jokes in person, like at Golden Globe and at the Oscars. There's one, I can't remember the actress he was with, but he said nobody has to act like they're sexually attracted to Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, I mean, The Simpsons obviously predicted a certain event in September or in the early 2000s. They predicted a certain president running. Those are the two more infamous predictions amongst many others. I mean, The Simpsons had a whole episode about the Freemasons. I forgot what they call them. The Stone something. Was it the Stone something? What the fuck were they? The Freemasons are in The Simpsons. They got a bunch of shit. Bunch of that weird shit. I might actually have some clips from this episode. I'm going to try to clip some of this stuff if I can. Need to post more material. But yeah, The Simpsons had some wild shit. But you know what, guys? Quarter Hours is the DC/Batman shit. So the Stonecutters? Let me check that out real quick. I think it's called Stonecutters. Or is that you have Simpson and the Stonecutters. And he's part of Homer joins a lie. He joins the Freemasons. Let me show some images. It's Homer the Great. And see, everybody in Springfield is they're really Freemasons. I'm not telling you that's what that was the episode's about. And this is like the Freemason thing. Instead of having which you see they have the Freemason symbol right here. But instead they use this. But here's the actual one right here. Which you see, people will have it. And actually from afar it almost looks like a certain other symbol that was used in Germany at a certain time. So there you go. I'm not selling you these things. They are. How much cold stuff has passed through the Simpsons, nobody knows. Only God knows. Yeah, OVO is owl related. Owl, there's that big Molech owl. Actually, I heard it's not Molech, but whatever that fucking statue is, that you can even buy the action figure if you want a Freemason Homer Simpson. You can get the fucking action figure and get you get your Freemason Homer Simpson. Crazy word. Yeah, OVO is related to the owl. The Quarter Owls is some shit. There's all sorts of shit that's supposed to be like Freemason. OVO is actually supposed to be OTO, which is some shit from was it Aleister Crowley? That's what it's supposed to be related to. I'm not sure, man. Oh, it's another link. I don't know if I'm gonna play it. We'll see. What is it? No, we're not. No, we can't. No, we got to stop. All right. In any event, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We're going to go ahead. On that bombshell, it is time to end. This has been a real fun stream. I need to stream more. Hopefully I can get another stream in. Yeah. Hopefully I can get another couple streams in this week. I do want to watch WrestleMania, so I'm going to be watching that. I may do maybe a Mania post show. Maybe. And maybe some clips from this stream. This was pretty fun. So, all right, if you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. But even if you do none of these things, nothing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night. God bless. I'll talk to all you guys later. Peace out. I appreciate everybody. No, don't play again. Stop. Stop playing this song. No. Oh, God, I got to just end it.